So in previous videos and tutorials, I told you how we can create some JSP files here, and we are done with our servlet part. So we are now focused only with JSP part. So let me close this index.html. So we created one admin panel JSP for admin panel, student list JSP for the student list, instruction list for that instruction purposes, and question list for the question list purposes. Let us see how we can create update student JSP, because we mentioned here update student, so we need to create update student. So let me create one JSP update student here. Click finish. Okay, so I will print this only. And remember, when you are writing Java files inside this, you need to specify this syntax. So let me create an update student. Basically our JSP file is update student. Then let me show you. So our page language is Java, student DO, because it contains that update student. I'm using array list here also. So let me print here title as update student. I'm using bootstrap method. Then this again to put this as user ID. Okay. So this is all about these things. Then student DO, I am using this method. I am invoking that array list. Then this all student, it will fetch if request.get parameter username for that particular user. If our get username, which is basically for that specific user, if the that is correct, what it will be do? It will go to the update student now. Now what is that update student now? We already created update student JSP. So why we require? So if I want to change the username, if I want to change the name, if I want to change the password, there should be another JSP file to process that purpose. You can include in the same JSP file, but for some simpler purpose, or we can say for the user friendliness and managing purpose, I'm going to use this. So again, get username for this update student, which I already created, and this is for the delete student. So this is very simple JSP file. As I told you, you need to create only this part, and if that for loop, if that, which means if that matches to that part only, you can easily use this. Else go with the specific that name only. No need to change that because student is not available. Simple there. So let us see how we can create update student now part here. So let me copy this. I'm going to create another JSP here. So as you can see, we have some more JSP files than our part. So this will contain basic logic of updating part. So let me use this part, update student now. And this is, instead of this, I'm going to put is updating student info. I will print this. So it will use this db.student because I want to update in that part only with student DEO model. It will import this only and array list and everything. So what it will be do? It will new user ID, new password, new name with original ID, UID and everything. If this is done, like student list JSP is, we are already created student list, it will send direct to that part. If not, else it will go in the that error in the database and everything is done. So this is all about how we can create update student now part. So this is just a logic, not very important, or you can say you can easily use in the update student only, but I just created another part. So this is very important because this contains the logic of changing username, password and name. with original name also. So this is done with update students. So let us see how we can create some delete student part also here. Let me create JSP file here again. Delete student. Let me delete this part because this contains some default code while you are creating JSP. So we don't want to print hello world in delete student. We need to create logic for deleting students. So let me create delete student part here. Delete student. You just need to remove that part only. So what we are going to do is it's just deleting that part with this student list and delete record. Delete record is already mentioned in that database and we are going to delete that record. So let me change the title here also. Okay, delete student. So now we are done with that delete student part. So we just created update student and delete student. Update student contains update student now JSP. You can directly use these codes because I already created this part. So remember what I'm mentioned here is student is with new student with username this. If the username is this, I'm going to delete records and it will send me to this. If not, it should print error there. So that's it about how we can create delete student. So now we are done with student list. Let us see how we can create instruction list here, or we need to create instruction, update instruction and all these things. Update instruction, web pages or JSP file here. I'm going to create update instruction. So in further videos, I'm going to show you how we can create run answer and every methods. So I have very less time limit here. Due to time constraint, I'm just doing this. So let us see how we can create update instruction method here. So as we created update student part, we need to create update instruction method only. So again, I'm importing all these things. Remember, I'm importing pages, all pages. Let me change this. Update instructions. Okay. With S number because S number is very important. Instruction operation. Operation is basically for the update part. It will get the parameter for that purpose. If that insert part is equal, it will go to that part, or otherwise it will go to the delete part with update instruction and delete instruction. Remember, I need to create update instruction now method also because it contains the logic of that update instruction. Similarly, as I created for student list. So result will contain all the result information for that student purpose. Okay, so update instruction now. So let me save this first and let me save this first also. So as you know, update instruction students now contains this. I will just copy this because I want to insert title here again. Updating instructions. Okay, that's it. Similarly, we created this. I need to create this part again because if original then modified, if yes, instruction list, it will send me to directly to that part. If not, it show me the error. So this is basic logic for that update instruction. Now what we required, so we are done with this. So now we are needed delete instruction part also. So let me create one another file, delete instruction, JSP file only, JSP file only. Okay, this new JSP. Okay, remember the names here. If you are mentioning some other names, it will not work. Okay, now it created. Let me delete this again. Okay, delete instruction. So let me create one delete instruction part also here. Again, simple logic for delete instruction I, if that instruction get parameter which basically instruction, if that delete record. So where is the delete record I am using is delete instruction. So this is from the DB and that model. Instructions. So I'm deleting, and I'm using delete record method inside the instruction DO. So now you can understand why I'm using the servlet part. If I'm not using different packages, it will take too much time for the creation of the servlet. So creating a servlet is task for the developer, as you can see, because I need to create and I need to mention everything inside that purpose. So once I created this, inside that model, it contains instruction DO to the delete record. So I'm using that method in that part. So as you can see inside the model, instruction DO contains delete record method. So now we are done with the instruction part. So our remaining part is now the question list. So let's see how we can use that question list again, because it also contains update question list. Update question, it's again new JSP. Similar things I'm using similar logic, but variables are different, just because it contains all different things, and it is using the database. So let me create, and I already created. Let us see how we can create this method. Okay, so update question method. So now this is done only. uh, okay, now this is done, but update question now is remaining, which contains logic, and this is very similar thing like this only. And let me put here is update question, and it will create this JSP, and it's require this part also. Similar thing. Delete that part because it contains some default code. Go to this part, and so why I'm not deploying it again and again, because at the end of this program or everything, I'm going to deploy at a single time, or I'm going to deploy in the single part only. So let me use this only. Okay, so similar thing I'm using is updating questions. Okay, so this will import everything. I'm importing only questions DO because this is only required, no need to import DB or anything. Option A, option B, option C, option D I'm importing is the answer. Then if you are changing something or things questions, it will redirect to this part. Else if the status is not equal to, means basically error in the database. If not, exception is occurred, you can put that part. So this is all about how we can create instruction DO and everything. In further part, I'm going to create some add questions and everything. So I will just go through that and I will deploy our project on the server.